Love this man. Love everything about him. He's one of the all-time greats in playing basketball collegiately. He's on the NBA 75th all-time, 75th anniversary all-time team, and he's part of Westwood One's coverage of the national championship game tonight. He is the great Bill Walton. How are you, Bill?
Championship Day. Yeah, this is what we live for, the moment of truth. But right now, we're the moment before the moment of truth. New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah, wow. History, the past, the present, the future, the War of 1812, the synergies, UNC, North Carolina, Kansas, Dean Smith, Larry Brown, Roy Williams, Danny Manning, the 57 undefeated championship team from North Carolina that beat Kansas by 1 in that game. That was Wilt. Oh, my gosh. UNC that year in 57, I was 4. That team was the second of 7 undefeated teams in the history of college basketball. Coached by Frank McGuire, they beat Dick Hart that day. Kansas, 10 championship games in their illustrious history. North Carolina, 12. UCLA still has the record here. But wow, what a weekend here in New Orleans, starting off Friday night with the Hall of Fame dinner in the French Quarter. All the new people going in, headlined by Manu, yeah, the guy that could catch a bat standing still. And then Stanford and UConn women. What a game. UConn was just brilliant. Stanford could not break free offensively, and UConn won convincingly before getting just trounced, as everybody did this year, by South Carolina. Congratulations once again to Dawn Staley. And then Saturday night, oh my gosh, the game of forever. And then we didn't even go to bed. We got up Sunday and went to the Naismith Awards over at the World War II Museum, just a few blocks from where we are at our wonderful hotel. Walker Kessler, he wins the Defensive Player of the Year. Ed Cooley, Providence Coach of the Year, and a remarkable speech. Beth Bass was honored for women's basketball contributions. Oscar Shibwe, he was Player of the Year. It was absolutely fantastic. John Calipari, always there for his players, just a spectacular human being getting it done. But the show was just overrun by Jim Nantz and his speech. Please Google that speech, YouTube that speech, Jim Nantz speech at the Naismith Awards Sunday morning. I study speakers. I study greatness. This was one of the greatest moments of my life. And then we had the Westwood One dinner last night in the French Quarter. That was over the top. And then today I'm on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm having lunch with Bob Pettit. And then the game tonight. One moment of sadness, though, before we get going here.
Sure.
Is that one of my coaches, Gene Shue, the legend, he passed away today at 90.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Say a prayer, light a candle, and live your life and our lives in tribute and honor to the great Gene Shue. But wow, what a game on Saturday night.
It sure was, Bill. I mean, that was truly unbelievable. It's so rare that a game that's so looked forward to and so hyped lives up to it and surpasses it. What do you think was the difference in that game on Saturday night? What do you think?
Games are won and lost when your best players outplay their best players. And the game that Caleb Love had, the same game that he had against UCLA, Caleb Love is one of those really special dudes. And I love Jamba Juice. And my favorite Jamba Juice is chocolate peanut butter love. And so every time I see Caleb Love, I just think of how happy chocolate peanut butter love makes me. And his ability to just score. I mean, ultimately, offense wins. And, the greatest offensive players, the guys who can just score when the defense is set and dug in, that's Kareem, and that's LeBron, and that's Michael Jordan, that's Larry Bird. And that's the guys who have written the history of this game. And so now, you've got this guy, Caleb Love, and I love underdogs. This game, this was a movie, this whole scene. And the Villanova and Kansas game, I mean, it really never became a game. Kansas just played perfect. They've been playing perfect ever since the halftime of the Miami game in the regional finals. And, they will be a huge force to be reckoned with tonight. But let's talking about Saturday night, man, that game, the fans, I was sitting right in the corner of the court, just down the way from where our Westwood One broadcast position is. And I'm the prop. I'm the studio guy in the bridge shows and everything. And so I got this fantastic seat, and then the game is right there. And then just at 1 o'clock for me is the North Carolina band. At 2:30 is the North Carolina student section. And then directly behind me at 6 on the clock is the North Carolina fan section with the alumni and the sponsors and the boosters and all the parents and everything. And it was just incredible. And there's so much animosity, there's so much tension and tenacity and all the different things that go into great athletic competition. And that's just between the fans. And so all the whole script of how this movie was going to be written, off into the sunset on his big white horse Mescalito, and the incredible storylines of them coming and then losing, and him saying it's unacceptable, we're not done yet, and they're coming back and they're playing great and they got all the best players, and then Leaky Black, Chocolate Peanut Butter Love, R.J. Davis, Brady Manick. Brady Manick, they're going to name a band after him the same way that Pearl Jam named themselves Mookie Blaylock at the beginning. And then Armando Baycott, who's such a wonderful player. And, Duke has all the stars, all the hype, all the publicity, and all of everything, and they've got Coach K here. And then North Carolina, they got Hubert Davis, who a significant number of people there in North Carolina did not want Hubert Davis to be the coach for whatever reasons. And then all of a sudden he becomes the coach. They struggle mightily. They get blown out early by Kentucky in the season. They're not playing well, but then they find a way. And you got Armando Baycott, who's playing fantastic, setting records out there. And then he gets hurt with 4 or 5 minutes to go, and then he fouls out. He comes back from the dead. This was Dan Pastorini on steroids here. And so it's all happening in a brilliant scene, and this story is all right there. And every time some team scores, you think the game is over. And then 30 seconds later, it switches, and it's just back and forth and back and forth. And in the Superdome, which is like this monstrous place, you could fit 5 other stadiums inside the Superdome, and the fans were just everywhere. There was so much anticipation and joy and angst and suffering and happiness and joy, and it was all right there. And then at the very end of the game, Chocolate Peanut Butter Love makes a couple of brilliant offensive plays, and North Carolina wins the game. And it's like you're writing this story, you're making the movie, it's all right there, you're creating it, you think it's all scripted, and then somebody else comes in and writes the ending to it. Oh my gosh, what a game, what a moment, what a scene. For the rest of my life, Rich, I will be able to say that I was there. I was there, and I saw it all. And to see how happy all the winners were and to see how sad all the losers were, that's what makes our life so great. Yes, it's sport. Yes, it's a platform. Yes, it's a game, but it means so much to all of us. And to have the fans right there. And one of the things that goes on in these moments at the highest level, you have to learn to embrace and love pressure and risk and doubt and uncertainty, because you never know how these things are going to play out. It's like, a bicycle ride. It's like going to a Grateful Dead concert. It's like life itself. You never know what's going to happen, and you better be ready for every eventuality. And these guys, it's going to be tough as can be for North Carolina to come back from that, because generally what happens in these games is that the team that plays the best on Saturday night, which was Kansas. Kansas is on fire, and Obachi is just lighting it up out there. David McCormick has never played better in his life. Everybody, Jalen Wilson, Christian Brown, Mitch Lightfoot, DeJuan Harris, these guys are all playing great. The only guy that didn't play well for Kansas on Saturday night is Remy Martin, which is a good sign for Kansas because he can come back now. He'll be on the edge. But generally, who plays best on Saturday night does not play best on Monday night. But the problem for North Carolina, Rich, is that they put so much into that game, and they were celebrating at the end of that game as if it was the championship. And you cannot get back up for the championship until you come down. And hopefully they've been able to come down. Baycock's injury is significant here. If I'm Bill Self, if I'm Kansas, I just say, okay, look, the storyline is North Carolina because they just beat Coach K and they just beat Duke. And that was the whole deal coming in here. We cannot look back. We cannot hold back. They're going to be emotionally tired. Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, Leaky Black, they can play all day long and never have any sort of problems physically. Brady Manick and Armando Baycott with his ankle, they're not in that same situation here. So if you're Kansas, your mindset is we are going to run, and we are going to run, and we are going to run, and we are not going to stop. And at some point, they're going to wear down. North Carolina does not have the depth, but the stars for Kansas, they have to bring it. And you can't come out. You don't get a championship by sort of like hanging around and hope that the other team is going to not get it done. If your success is based on the failures of others, that's not what championships are all about. No. So these guys from Kansas and the historical ties in between these two schools and the backgrounds of these two states where the James Naismith and John McClendon and Bob McAdoo, who's got a son on the North Carolina team, and they got somebody named Puff on the team. I mean, this is like such a wonderful story for everything. I love underdogs. I do not have a personal favorite. I love Kansas basketball. I love what Bill Self does. I love the transition that he made from the plodding teams to the up and down. Yeah, let's get going. Let's have tons of guys like Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and all these guys who can really run and really fly. We'll be in perfect condition. We're just going to push the pace all the time. And then the North Carolina tradition with all the remarkable players, Billy Cunningham, Bob McAdoo, Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, James Worthy, all these legends and the champions and the coaches and the fact that Roy Williams, from Asheville, played at North Carolina, coached at Kansas, coached at North Carolina. This game tonight, Bill Self and Hubert Davis, this is the first time ever in the history of the championship game that the coaches are both successors of the same person.
That's interesting.
And then you got Larry Brown, who played at UNC, played for Frank McGuire and Dean Smith, coached at Kansas for 5 years, won the championship with Danny Manning, and Danny's part of our Westwood One coverage, and it's just absolutely incredible. And then Dean Smith, who was born in Kansas, died in North Carolina, played at Kansas for Fog Allen, won the NCAA championship in 1952, the year I was born. He was a coaching assistant at KU before he goes to North Carolina. So this is just the harmonic convergence of all things perfection. And now it's up to the players. And I love the demeanor of the coaches, and I love the fans and their passion. This rock chalk Jayhawk stuff, whatever that means, I'm just not quite sure. And you got all these guys who are just going to be flying in from around the world. And the challenge for all of us on this championship moment is to bring it back up to where it was. Because that game of forever on Saturday night, that will be forever ingrained in our psyche. And that level of play, the level of intensity, the level of commitment and sacrifice and discipline and honor and mental acuity and emotional passion, that is hard to duplicate.
As are you, Bill Walton. As are you, Bill Walton. You are. Honestly, I just love listening to you. I love your passion. I love everything about it. And in the couple minutes I have left with you,
man, I broke your car.
No.
One day.
Yes.
I'm going to make it. One day in my life, I'm going to make it, and I'm going to show up at your house. And I'm gonna present you.
house.
I'm gonna give you a brand new Tesla.
No, I don't need a car.
Gotta make it.
It was just a rear windshield. It's no big deal. It's already been replaced.
Stop.
It's the
But
greatest.
I'm a man of duty. I'm a man of obligation.
I know that.
I'm a man of responsibility.
So
I carry the heavy burden of destroying your life.
no, stop.
So now,
You're the
one day
best,
I
man. You're the best, Bill. So listen, in the cup.
I love championship days.
In the last 2 minutes, I have
to go.
in the last few minutes I have with you here. You're the perfect person to ask. The conversation about Coach K and better than Wooden, all-time great. Wooden's 2, he's now 1, or Wooden's 1 and 2. What do you think of when you hear that conversation? The questions about.
I was there the day that John Wooden was named the greatest coach ever. Not the greatest basketball coach, not the greatest college coach, but the greatest coach ever. And the guys behind him were Vince Lombardi, Bear Bryant, Phil Jackson, Don Shula, and Red Auerbach. And most of those guys were mad as can be, particularly Phil, about being where they were on the list. And then when Red found out that he was behind Phil from inside his coffin, he said, "Let me out of here. Are you kidding me?" And John Wooden's remarks were along these lines. This is a very nice thing that you guys say about me, but there is no way that anyone can ever accurately say who the best is. What are the measurements? What are the standards? And then Coach Wooden took a pause and he said, "I will acknowledge and accept that I'm among the best." And then he transferred it again. He said, "I made a mistake with the pyramid of success, and I want to apologize for that, because I left the word love out of the pyramid of success. And love is the most powerful and important word in our language and culture. And until the power of love supersedes the love of power, we have no chance at success, at moving forward." And then he closed it when he said, I looked around the room, and he said, "I also want to apologize to everyone in this room and say I'm sorry, and that I have not been able to do more to help you." Coach Wooden lived a life of service to others. Coach Wooden's life changed. He was the first great player in the history of basketball. He got hurt. He could no longer play, as that happens to everybody. He made a transition. He became this remarkable coach. I don't believe that he knows or he knew how great a coach he was and how incredibly important he was in enabling us to shape our lives. Mike Krzyzewski, like Vince Lombardi, Bear Bryant, Phil Jackson, Don Shula, and Red Auerbach, he's among the best. And Rich, how many children do you have? We have 6 children.
3.
We have 14 grandchildren. And when somebody asks me who's the best, I just say I love them all. And I'm happy and privileged, honored, and most fortunate to be a parent, to be a grandparent, to be a husband, to be a houseboy, to be someone who's able to be part of something really special the way I've been here all this weekend in New Orleans. Mostly, though, I am grateful that Rich Eisen still takes my calls after I ruined his Tesla.
I love you, Bill Walton. Have a great time tonight, man.
Eisen. What a game. Westwood won tonight.
Yes, sir.
It's all right there. How can we duplicate the game of forever? Let's go. Let's give it a try. You can't finish what you don't start. It's going to take everything that we have. Let's go.
Take care.
This at your own peril. You've been suitably warned. Be in town early. Yeah. New Orleans, Jimmy Buffett, Grateful Dead, John Fogerty, Neville Brothers, Anders Osborne, Iko, Toots and the Maytals, Leon Russell, Dr. John. Let's rock. Let's play. Put the ball in the air. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. I love Rich Eisen. I love Westwood One.
Yeah. Have a great time tonight, Bill. We'll be listening. You're the best. Thanks for the call.
Out.
There he goes. He's out.
He's out.
Out. Mic drop.
That was
me. That was him.
Incredible.
Wow.
Whoa.
So if you have your Bill Walton bingo card,
Oh my God.
you know at the middle of the bingo card is either Grateful Dead or John Wooden.
Yeah, always.
Okay?
I think at this point it's the Dead.
It's okay. Let's just assume it's Grateful Dead. Okay. I have this bingo. Unbelievable. I have the bingo of Jamba Juice, Mookie Blaylock, Grateful Dead, Pearl Jam, Dan Pastorini. Bingo. That's the five.
Here we go.
Well, we got a whole bunch of new drops on that one. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.